Hello, welcome to the third video of the business law curriculum. So today we're going to be talking about the jurisdiction and what type of role it plays in the creation of businesses and the maintenance of businesses. So the jurisdiction will be a heavily tested um, part of the curriculum just because of how important it is. So please make sure to really pay attention to this video. And if you haven't watched any other videos of the previous videos, make sure to go to bizinstitution.com where we were and first look at the first two videos and then come to this video just so you have a clear understanding of the first two parts of this curriculum. So, and if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments of the chat down below. Apart from that, let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to mainly focus on three main parts. The first one is what is a jurisdiction? Secondly, we're going to talk about the original and appellate jurisdiction. And then we're going to talk about what a jurisdiction over a person really means. And finally, we're going to have a short quiz over these three things just to check your understanding. Okay, so what is a jurisdiction? Well, a jurisdiction is the power of a court to hear a dispute and to speak the law. Notice how that's quotation marks right there. And then into a controversy and render a verdict that is legally binding onto the parties of the dispute or to the dispute. So this is a really advanced definition to what a jurisdiction is, which some of y'all might not understand. So here's a simple definition. A jurisdiction is to simply have the authority or the legal power to rule a case. So basically, you have the authority to, make the final verdict or do a say that will affect somebody else's life. So, for example, a judge in a court has a jurisdiction to give you a 5-year sentence to going to jail. So he has that jurisdiction, he or she, whatever. So that's basically what a jurisdiction means. And in this case, only a judge can, along with a judge, companies, certain people like CEOs, they all have some sort of jurisdiction over you or any of their employees. Even a smaller example is you and your parents. So your parents have jurisdiction over you, right? They have the authority to tell you what to do to affect the actions or what will happen later on in your life. So, yeah, that's basically what a jurisdiction is in a nutshell. Okay, so there's two main types of jurisdictions. Here's the first one, original jurisdiction. So this is the first time a case is talked about. Most commonly, district courts hear this. No lower court has been appointed this case. On federal level, disputes involve maritime law, U.S. law, cases concerning different U.S. states. So let's break down what all of this means. So the first bullet point says the first time a case is talked about. So as you can see by the word original, whenever a case, by case I mean a trial, okay, just to get that clear. So whenever a case is first presented to court, that first time it's presented is known as the original jurisdiction, okay? Second is the most commonly, okay, yeah. So an original jurisdiction is most commonly talked about in district courts, right? So if you had to go to the court because you crashed into somebody else's car, you won't go directly to the Supreme Court, right? You would first go to your district court, whatever is closest to you, and then over there, if it doesn't solve, then you'll go to like a state level court, and then you will go to a federal court and then a Supreme Court. Okay. So next, an original jurisdiction does mean that no lower court has been appointed this case. So, for example, if you go to the Supreme Court, you wouldn't go you would only go there if it's like a state level state level trial where they're talking about gerrymandering or the state borderline stuff like that. So in that case, the Supreme Court got the original jurisdiction. This only happens once or twice a term, because not many times is there a case where you have to go straight to the Supreme Court. Finally, on federal level, so that's what I was talking about, disputes involve maritime law, US law, cases concerning different US states. So maritime law is like the ocean rule that you can fish or do any economic activity between 200 miles of the board of land and border of the ocean. And then the US law, any sort of constitutional law, any sort of law that has been passed, and US states. Next is the appellate jurisdiction. So, appellate jurisdiction refers to the power of a court to hear appeals from lower courts. So, this is when, like the federal court or Supreme Court hears from a lower strength court. Just so imagine a case becomes really out of hand for a small court, so they have to move up a level. All right, they have to go to the big guys in the big court and talk there. So the power to reverse or modify the lower court's decision. So when a or trial goes to a higher court, they do have contain the authority to, redo or veto the decision made in the lower order court. Most states extend appeals as a matter of right to all appeals from trial cases. This basically means that the states do want to hand out the trial to other courts just to make sure they're making the right decision. States may also choose to differentiate between civil appellate jurisdiction and criminal appellate. So what this basically means is they have the decision or power to organize cases by who is being trialed, whether they are a good person per se or whether they have a criminal record. So, what's a jurisdiction over a person? So, this gives a court the authority to determine the rights and liabilities of a person or entity, such as a corporation or partnership involved in a lawsuit. So, this basically means that in a certain boundary, on a certain location, a court or a judge has authority to rule a decision, from anybody. So, for example, you sue an Illinois citizen in an Illinois state court for breach of contract. So you, as an outside Illinois citizen, sue an Illinois citizen in an Illinois state court for breach of contract. So you do hold the authority to do that. That's basically what a jurisdiction over person means. All right, so that was all the new concepts that we had to learn. So these are the 4 questions that I would want you to answer, and the answers will be posted in the website shortly. So quickly answer these questions, and yeah, if you have any questions, once again, type them in the chat. If not, that was the lesson for today. Stay tuned for the next week's um, video, which will be about different types of uh, laws, stuff like that. Thank you.